This is the only Milwaukee tool that I own that I feel like was a ripoff. I bought this for around $250, bare tool, when it came out, and I've only ever gotten about half of the power out of it that Milwaukee says I should. I had various commenters online say that I needed to use a different battery. And so today, we're going to test that theory. I have here the small high output battery. High output is their newer series of battery. I have the XC 3.0, which is what I used in one of my last videos. I have the XC 4.0, which is what they used to ship this tool with, and I believe they still kit that with this tool. And then I have the newer XC 5.0 high output battery. This is what everyone was saying I needed to get the full power out of this tool, even though this battery did not exist when they sold this tool. So to me, it seems like a bit of a ripoff, just saying that you need a newer style battery to get the full power out of this older tool. But let's test that theory. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to tighten 3 different 3/4 inch bolts using each battery. The reason I'm using 3 is because I'm using a piece of scrap steel that I had with 3/4 inch holes in it, and I'm using 3 slightly different bolts. So each of these joints is going to have its own personality. And so I'm using 3 to get a realistic real-world average. This steel is something that you would actually encounter on a machine. These bolts are bolts that you would actually encounter. This is a grade 3, this is a grade 5, and this is a structural grade 5. This is what the bolt heads look like. This is the grade 3, this is the grade 5, and then this is the structural bolt. It has an oversized head. It's an A325 spec bolt. In order to measure how much torque this is putting out, we are actually going to check how much torque is required to tighten the bolts a little bit more after we use the impact wrench. That will tell us how tight this had gotten them. In my last video, I used my snap-on torque wrench, but this time I actually want a little bit better resolution, and so I'm going to go with the Harbor Freight Quinn digital torque adapter. This goes up to 250 foot-pounds, and so I'm going to use this along with simply a 1/2 inch drive breaker bar in order to see how much torque each of the nuts has on them after we're done with the impact. I've never used this torque adapter before, so I'm going to take a minute to familiarize myself and make sure that it's working properly. I'm going to quickly check the adapter with my torque wrench and vice versa. I've got the adapter set to 200 foot-pounds. I really don't expect it to trigger, and I set my torque wrench, my snap-on torque wrench, to 150. And I just want to see when this clicks on 150, how close are we on the display. Wow, look at that. So my torque wrench was set to 150 and it clicked at 150.4. So I trust this adapter and my torque wrench. That's pretty impressive. So I'm still going to use the adapter for this test just for easier reading, but I do know my torque wrench was accurate in the last test. Whenever I tighten on these nuts, I am going to hold the heads of the bolts as needed with a wrench on the backside, just so you know. That being said, let's get started with the CP 2.5 high output battery, and I'm going to run this for 10 seconds on each nut, and then we will check the torque. And I've got it on the highest torque setting. I'll give it about 5 seconds between cycles to cool down. At the risk of throwing off the test already, I'm going to switch from a standard to a deep well socket because I needed a little more reach for these 2 bolts. So this first data point we'll have to take with a grain of salt, but from here on out, the rest should be the same. I will use this on all tests going forward. Okay, and this bolt is a structural bolt, so it has a larger head. So I'll switch to the larger wrench to hold the head. And here's another 10 seconds. And now we will measure the torque that it takes to spin these at all with my breaker bar. Well, that's a bit confusing. So according to this, I just applied 228 foot-pounds and it did not turn. Okay, now I've set the meter up to 250 foot-pounds. Okay, well, 250 foot-pounds will not turn that. Let's try the next one. Nothing. I wish I would have seen that coming. So on the scorecard, I wrote 250 plus foot-pounds for the 2.5 high output battery. And for the record, we still have 3 bars left on the small high output battery. Let's see if we can take all these nuts off. Man, I am having to eat crow right away. Let's see what the larger batteries can do. I'll remove all the noise from the rest of these tests. So this is the XE 3.0 battery, full charge. Huh. Interesting. So this one is slipping, but I think the whole bolt is actually turning. But let's see what that was at. So that was at about 228 foot-pounds. Round 1 is complete, and I am quite surprised by the results. Almost every data point reached 250 foot-pounds, and that is more than that wrench was even rated for, and way more than I've experienced with it in the past. So what is causing these high torque values? Well, to better understand that, I'm going to add 2 more variables to my test and continue on. I'm going to try tightening these bolts again with a lower torque setting on the impact wrench and see if I can better differentiate between the batteries. Then I'm going to try tightening a smaller fastener. I don't normally tighten bolts this large. These are 3/4 inch bolts, and I'm using a 1 1/8 inch socket. I'm going to go down to a 1/2 inch bolt and 3/4 inch socket and see if I'm still getting these really high torque values. Note how much wear we're starting to see on these nuts. This first nut is probably doing the best. The second one, we can really see the shape of the socket showing up on the nut. And this third nut, we're actually shearing off the corners. They're getting really sharp, almost like the tooth of a gear. So I'm going back to the CP 2.5 high output, and I've got it on torque setting 1. This battery did deplete down to 3 bars, but I'm going to go ahead and test it anyway. I'll give them each 10 seconds like before. I recharged all 4 batteries, so now let's run another test, this time with grade 8 half-inch bolts to see what our torque values do with smaller fasteners. Well, I'm just about 30 seconds into data collection with the impact wrench on setting 3 on the high power setting, and I have something going on. I don't know if I'm stripping the threads of these bolts or if I rounded the nut, but it seems to want to keep turning, and the socket is now stuck on the nut. Well, I just stripped the threads right out of the nut. Yep, they're in the bolt now. I'm going to try to actually save the bolt, get the remnants of the nut out, and put another nut on and try it again. Okay, the thread's cleaned out nicely, and I got a new nut, so the grade 8 bolt is still intact. We're going to try this again, setting 3, CP 2.5 high output battery. Well, the testing is all done, and so now let's review the data from the torque adapter. Here's the data from the 3/4 inch bolts. Each color here is a different battery, and each grouping of bars is a different torque setting on the wrench. Over on the right-hand side, you can see where we started, which was on level 3. There really wasn't much differentiation between the batteries. They all pretty much nailed 250 plus foot-pounds of torque. That's as high as the torque adapter would read. The one exception was one of the trials on the 3 amp hour battery did dip down below 250 a little bit, and so that pulled the average down. But once we went to the lower torque settings, suddenly you could differentiate between the batteries. The interesting thing to note here is that if you look at level 1, the 2 high output batteries actually yielded first and second, with the higher amp hour taking the win there. In the middle on level 2, it's actually a very linear relationship between the different batteries. And so the higher amp hour you go, the more torque you are going to apply, regardless of whether it's a high output or not. If we look at the half-inch bolt data set, we start to see even more differentiation here. If you look at level 1, yet again, the high output batteries took the win here. Interestingly, the 2.5 amp hour high output actually won over the 5 amp hour high output. And I cannot explain that, but it's just to say on level 1, we're seeing kind of a different relationship between the batteries, but in general, the high outputs win. On level 2, we see a similar relationship that we saw on the 3/4 inch bolts, and that's where the higher amp hour you go, the more torque you're going to apply. So the 5 amp hour high output takes the win there. Level 3 is where we get to a whole new dynamic. As we start to increase the size of the battery, we get higher torque values, but then we actually dip when we get to the 4 amp hour battery, and even further when we get to the 5, and that is because we were yielding the nuts. On these half-inch grade 8 bolts, we were not using grade 8 nuts, so the nuts were giving way once we got to around 180 foot-pounds, and that was really pulling down the averages. Takeaways here are that you do get higher torque out of higher amp hour batteries regardless of whether they are quote unquote high output or not. Also, the settings on the wrench are pretty effective at controlling the torque output. You also need to be careful that you're not starting to yield whatever fastener you're tightening. Otherwise, your larger battery will actually get you a lower final torque value. Maybe I should run this test again with grade 8 nuts and bolts and a higher capacity torque adapter so that we can collect data above 250 foot-pounds. I don't know, what do you guys think? Is that something you'd like to see? I now have some renewed faith in this Milwaukee Impact for sure, but that's not the only thing we can learn from this experiment. Joint dynamics have a big impact on final torque. In other words, the size and style and type of the joint itself, so the size of the bolt, the way you're holding the bolt, the way you're holding whatever the medium is, or in this case, the plates, all of that has an impact on the final torque that you can put into that connection. Overall, I would say that the more robust, the beefier the connection, the beefier the bolts and nuts and sockets, the more torque you're going to be able to get into that joint. This was highlighted in the significant torque difference that we saw between the large fasteners and the small fasteners. And again, I even saw some differences depending on how I was securing the individual bolts. Digital torque adapters are pretty handy, it turns out. I found it very handy and accurate. If you would like to purchase a similar torque adapter, please consider using the link in the description below. When we talk about the power of an impact wrench, oftentimes we're talking about nut busting performance. And I would say that at least in this Milwaukee gun, the 255520, the nut busting mode is only on level 3. I actually had difficulty sometimes removing the nuts in levels 1 and 2. Level 3 never had a problem removing the nuts, but in levels 1 and 2, sometimes it actually failed to do it, and I would have to bump up a level just to remove the nuts that it had installed. On that note, level 3 is not for the faint of heart. So in my test here, a 1/2-inch bolt could not always take level 3. So I would be careful about using it on anything other than a hardened, like a grade 8 1/2-inch bolt, because you can strip the threads out, as I found in some of these nuts. So it just shredded the threads and made some nice little jewelry. The other thing I encountered is that my socket, my 3/4-inch socket, started to get stuck on the nuts when I was using it on level 3. And I realized what was actually happening is I was wearing out the inside of the socket. And so it's hard to see on camera there, but the reliefs in the corner, which are normally these nice round reliefs, are getting flattened out. And so this socket, which is an American-made Black Hawk socket, is actually experienced quite a bit of wear from this test. I was doing a lot of hammering, right, over and over. And a socket this small apparently doesn't like those prolonged periods of hammering, especially on the high output setting of this gun. So that would actually be a case for using a more powerful gun that can get a joint loose or tight in a quicker amount of time. So in other words, 10 seconds of hammering is going to be hard on your socket. I know I can get a joint tighter or looser a lot faster with a more powerful gun. So just keep that in mind, is that a gun like this might wear out your sockets prematurely. So thanks for watching this video. What are your thoughts on my test here? Do you think this has some elements of truth in it, or do you think it was flawed? What would you have done? What have you seen? I do value the feedback and all of the good comments that I get on these videos. Also, if you are interested in purchasing any of these products, please consider using the links in the description below. It doesn't cost you anything, and it does support my efforts here, so I appreciate it. But overall, I do think this has renewed my faith in this tool. So thanks for all the feedback, and see you on the next one.